Venetia Archer, thank you so much for joining us. Founder and CEO of Ruuby, you have absolutely changed my life. So huge thanks for that. I use your service weekly. How are you doing?
Amazing. I'm really well, thanks. Thank you so much for having me.
Especially considering you just had a baby.
Yes, yes. So I welcomed Daphne 6 weeks ago today. So my second daughter, and yeah, she's gorgeous.
Huge congratulations. How's baby? How are you?
I'm really well. I'm really well. Like it's my second, so it's been less of a shock as the first one. Obviously, a bit tired, a little bit slower. Baby brain is definitely real. But yeah, all good.
Amazing. You sound a lot more put together than I was after my second. I was not as prepared as that.
Listen, depends on the day, right?
Fair
It
enough.
depends on the day.
So, about your career, you started as a geopolitical analyst.
Yes.
What does that even mean?
So at university I studied political science, and I sort of fell into my first job, as we all do. You sort of do what kind of comes along. But I loved it. I would essentially work on behalf of corporates to understand the local dynamics on the ground, local political dynamic on the ground. So I might be writing reports for a shipping company about the maritime security situation. So I specified in Somali piracy. So that's what I sort of started to look at, which I thought was quite fun. So yeah, it would be just kind of researching what was going on.
Gosh, fun and slightly terrifying. You spent some time in Kenya and Somalia then researching hijackings.
I did, yeah. I mean, it was wild. Like at the time, I thought it was all, pretty normal. And now I look back, especially as a mother, and I think about my poor parents and how terrified they were when I was like, I'm going to Mogadishu. But it was an adventure in my 20s, and I learned so much.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I just didn't. I definitely have like a very high risk and a very high appetite for risk.
So is that more stressful, or actually founding your own tech business?
I mean, dare I say it, founding my own business is more terrifying than being in a war zone. Yeah, no, I mean, I joke, but it is a roller coaster ride, and there are moments of there've been very challenging moments along the way, which have been super super stressful. Because it's almost existential if you're a founder and you're obsessed with your business, like I am. It can be existential.
Why? I mean, how did you even get into Ruuby? What was the story behind founding it?
So I had moved back to London, and I was working in a corporate doing the same stuff, but it was much less interesting.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I don't fit within an existing organization. I don't really fit the mold. And so I thought, well, I'd love to start my own business. And I'd had this idea. I was sitting on this idea for ages, but never thought it was, as in it was a good idea. There should be an app where people can book beauty treatments. And I bounced the Ruuby idea alongside some other ideas, and sort of settled on it, and then went from there.
So you're absolutely brilliant in London, and you have some pop-ups.
Yeah.
So you have Switzerland,
Yeah.
and this summer you've got the south of France opening.
So this summer in south of France, and then we're launching Switzerland in Q4, which is going to be a sort of a much bigger permanent launch, which is exciting.
Do you know south of France well? Do you have any favorite spots?
I do. I spent a lot of time in Provence when I grew up. So, in Saint-Rémy de Provence, which was lovely. It's, there's nothing better than, that part of the year in the summertime. So that's sort of my favorite place. But we're popping up more in sort of Saint-Tropez, where the party is, where everyone's like needing their hair, their makeup, etc., etc. But I also, I love it there too. Nothing beats a glass of rosé or two at 5
Absolutely. So you're actually from Australia, from Sydney.
Yes.
Which I think is incredible. We spoke about this. I think
Yeah.
the most phenomenal food in the world.
Yeah.
What's life like there compared to here?
So it's very different. I mean, as you'd imagine, I'm an early riser. I wake up at like the crack of dawn, kids or no kids. And in Australia, everyone's the same. So, you're going for breakfast with people at 6 a.m. It's not abnormal. You're going
6 a.m. breakfast?
Yes, easy. And, it's much more outdoorsy. But also, unlike in London, it's very like familial. So, people just knock on your door and come and hang out. You go to each other's friends' houses, parents' houses. So it's a slower paced, kind of way of life, and London, I mean, we all know what London's like.
Yeah, you're planning 3 months in advance for
Yes.
a 6 p.m.
Yeah.
cocktail.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you have 2 kids. How do you do it?
Okay, so after number 1, and listen, I'm like very early with number 2, so like, let's just see how it all goes. But with number 1, I learnt like real delegation. So, it was a step change for me. It's obviously very, very busy running a business, but you can't do everything. I'm like really, really passionate about like not saying we can do it all, because like who can do it all? It leads to burnout. So really ruthlessly prioritizing time. So that's kind of the way I do it. But I also love it. Like I also love my business. I love being a mom, and there are other things that have sort of been deprioritized. Like I'm not nearly as social as I used to be, but like I'm fine about that. Someone asked me once recently, they're like, "What are your hobbies?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a hobby. I don't think I don't have a hobby. Like work is my hobby. So it's just about like prioritizing time, I guess.
Yeah, and so I can spot your bag. Wasn't something I was going to ask, but I see an orange bottle top, which looks uncannily like bubbles.
Oh my God.
What is in your bag?
Oh
Tell
my
me.
God. Okay. So I bought this recently. It's like my favorite, sweetest little bag. And yeah, I have I have some bubbles. Basically, I always need something for Penelope. I mean, I've got her bubbles, which she just loves. Bubbles everywhere. Hopefully they don't fall out and ruin my handbag. I've got raisins as
Essential.
well. A snack for any child. I've got more lip glosses in here than is probably normal.
For you or for Penelope?
Both.
Yeah.
She's got she's got more makeup than she really needs. Look at this, lip glosses. Oh my gosh. The Lancome Juicy Tubes.
Great, I love it.
Which they've just redone, which I'm obsessed with. This one, which I bought on Amazon because I was desperate. The Inky List, but it's so nice.
Great brand.
Tripeptide Pumping Lip Balm. It's really, really nice. Hermes lip gloss, because, we all need one of those. Oh, the new, this was not even pre-planned. I just had so many lipsticks. New Gucci one, which I like.
Very nice.
Really cute packaging. Anymore.
Every possible scenario, school run to event to dinner.
What the hell? This is where they've all gone. Charlotte Tilbury.
Okay.
I'm always like, I don't have any lipsticks. Okay.
We found
Charlotte
them.
Tilbury. That's one of those, the Pillow Talk. Everyone loves that.
Oh my goodness.
SPF. Oh my God. This is actually embarrassing. I think that's it though.
There's another one.
Hermes lipstick. Okay. That's me.
So we found them. Great.
We found them. So that's basically everything. And then I've got my keys, some functional things. Keys and a label from a conference. So
great. That's just the average
there
day.
We go.
I love it.
That is yeah. That's
so outside of finding all of your lipsticks now, we've discovered that. I'm so glad.
Raisins and my bubbles.
Great.
Oh my gosh.
You talk about hobbies, not having hobbies. I totally understand that.
Yes.
But do you get downtime?
Yeah, I do. I mean, not like in the traditional sense, of just like laying on the couch and chilling, but I'll make sure that I always sort of set some time aside. You don't need that long, but you do need quiet time. And for me, I love walking. There's nothing better than having kind of an hour and a half walk, 2-hour walk on my own with a podcast on the weekend. I take it when I can.
I get that. And if you probably met a ton of really brilliant, interesting people and worked with.
Yeah.
If you could share dessert with anybody, who would that be?
Oh, that is a great question. So I would love to share dessert with our mutual friend, Whitney Hawkins. Yeah. So a fellow founder, great friend, such a passionate woman, so intelligent, and we can talk shop till the cows come home. So
she's brilliant, and we discovered her Whitney bag as well, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Friday nights, what do they look like to you?
Friday nights are super chill. So, after the week, I love a night at home. I'll cook, we'll have family time, and then I'll be in bed as early as I possibly can.
Brilliant. For a hectic
boring
weekend. That's not boring at all.
Yeah, it's divine though. I really look forward to it.
What is the last thing you binge watched or binge read?
So I actually don't watch TV. I love reading. I love reading business books. And I'm really into podcasts at the moment.
Okay.
So I've been listening to, what have I been listening to? To Slow Mo by Mo Gaudat. I love him. I love his kind of vibe and everything. So I've been listening to that. It's great.
Nice. I like that. What's the last thing you do before bed and the first thing you do in the morning?
So I read. So I always read. I have my Kindle. I power through my books. Not so much business books at bedtime because they like amp me up, but just, something else, usually nonfiction. And then in the morning, well, usually I'm woken up by my children and I'm on. Yeah.
So it's just children dealing.
Yes,
I get that.
exactly.
Yeah. Where or what is your escape?
The bath. So I love a bath. I will go and I'll have, in the evening, so I can have a bath on my own. I mean, it's just heaven.
Brilliant. Quick fire questions.
Okay.
What's your coffee order?
I'm actually doing a matcha these days. So matcha and hot water. I love that.
Matcha. Does it taste good?
It's very
Never gone
bitter,
into
but
it.
I love it.
Really?
I love it. Yeah.
What's your favorite cuisine?
Italian.
Nice. Perfect date?
I love going for dumplings and then have, like, in the daytime, dumplings, glass of champagne or a couple of cocktails and then kind of running around town.
Where'd you go for dumplings?
Chinatown or Yaocha in Soho.
Brilliant. Chinatang
Yeah.
has the best duck.
Oh, it's just my favorite.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's
I love
such a
it.
fun vibe.
That would be my Sunday night date vibe with my husband. We would go for duck and a glass of wine.
Heaven.
It's great. If you had an extra 5 hours in the day, how would you spend it?
I would see my friends. So that's one thing that I don't get to do as much of these days. So spending time with my friends.
I love it. Instead of planning 3 months in advance.
Exactly.
If you're down, what cheers you up?
So like I said before, I love walking. It clears my head and I always feel like I'm in just a much better state after having had some time.
Nice. What's the best compliment you've ever received?
That's a difficult question. I think, well, one time about the business, a therapist came in once and said that Ruuby had absolutely transformed her life and her financial independence, and that was a great compliment to what we're working on.
That's a huge compliment. It's so empowering for individuals. I love that. Well done. What's your go-to drink?
My go-to drink would be a spicy margarita.
Oof, delicious. What song are you listening to on repeat?
Oh my gosh. What song? I literally listen to my Spotify, whatever, like Discover Weekly. Like I just like power through that every week and I'm so excited for what comes up on it. But I don't know what songs they are.
Whatever comes up. Do you have a favorite item? Clothing, jewelry, beauty, anything?
Oh, yes.
Except lipsticks. Or maybe it's lipsticks.
Do I? Yes. So I've got this beautiful silk Prada jacket. My mum gave it to me. It's the most gorgeous thing, light blush pink with some embroidery. However, I went to a children's birthday party and the kids had like nail polish. Anyway, I know. It's got this dollop of pink nail polish on it. And like I can't, and I sort of look at it and I think, could that be part of the jacket? Because I don't ever want to get rid of it. So I'm just going to wear it. And maybe, people think either she's got nail polish or that's a really cool design feature. I'm not sure.
It's vintage Prada.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Is there a trend that you're totally over?
Yes. I think sometimes some of the, so laminated eyebrows, I think like are a bit nuts. I know, I'm at Ruuby and like people can book them on our thing. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. That's the main one.
Nice. If you could be born in any decade, which one would it be?
I would be born in this one. I love it.
Good choice. A little early on in life, perhaps, but if you wrote a book about your life and career so far, what would it be called?
Leap and the net will appear. That's very much how I live my life. I just jump at things. I don't, sometimes I just think you've just got to go for it. And
just go for it.
Just go for it. Yeah.
Thank you, Venetia. I loved that so much. I could sit here for hours.
Thank
you so much. Huge congratulations again on your newborn baby.
Thank you so much.
And really lovely to speak to you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.